Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy skies. Low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into...
You sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
So nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet Santa Mas nice. So nice, so nice. Send cry full of pure vibes. So nice, so nice. Send John a real paradise. So nice, so proud to be from the Virgin Islands and the whole place nice.
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, book one of our packages today.
Today, I'm going to fight hunger. Today, I don't want to be hungry. We just have to buy food. My family gets the food we need. I'm so glad we could help. I'm so glad someone helped.
Hunger lives closer than you think. Purchase participating items at Walmart, and you can help secure a meal for someone through Feeding America food banks.
The conference call, the ultimate arena for business. Hour after hour of diving deep, touching base, and putting ducks in rows. The only problem with conference calls, eventually they have to end. Unless you have the Comcast Business Voice Edge mobile app. It lets you switch seamlessly from your desk phone to your mobile with no interruptions. I've never felt so alive.
Get the future of phone, and the phones are free. Comcast Business, built for business.
Strong. It comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point. Where doing something means doing it right. Where unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. And the only job is a job well done. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the new XT Enduro Series. Find exceptional financing and a dealer near you.
Now.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you? No, I wasn't.
Well, wet roads and speed contributing to a school bus crash in Tulsa, Oklahoma today. Police believe the bus driver was not necessarily speeding, but may have been going too fast for slick roads. Now, Tulsa public school officials say 10 kids were on board.
All right, well, Oklahoma's certainly in the thick of it with this severe weather. Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri all have seen or reported tornadoes today, but the severe weather continuing to fire up tonight and for tomorrow. So here's the big picture. You know, what we've been talking about, this moist flow. Believe it or not, April is the second biggest month for tornadoes. Of course, May being the first, but we have more sun, thus it's warmer. We've got all this moist air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, kind of a robust jet stream. So everything coming together to allow in April to see, of course, some tornadoes, and we certainly will see them. So tonight and into tomorrow, damaging winds, and this is the quadrant of concern. Chicago, St. Louis, Cincy. Again, also hail, damaging winds, and even isolated tornadoes not out of the question tomorrow. Down to Little Rock and even Shreveport with hail as well. And then the TORCON. We've been talking tonight about what that TORCON is and what it means. It stands for Tornado Conditions Index. So how likely are you to have a tornado tornado and where. So in southern Wisconsin, you could see in Michigan tomorrow a 50% chance of a tornado within 50 miles. Arkansas and Missouri, a 4 for you tomorrow, meaning a 40% chance of a likelihood within a 50-mile radius to have a tornado. So certainly 40s and 50s. So here it is, Chicago tomorrow, the timeline 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. A 50% chance, so certainly millions under this for tomorrow. St. Louis as well, a 4, and in Indianapolis tomorrow, 50% chance again through the mornings in toward the afternoon, certainly and in toward the evening. And those nocturnal tornadoes, which we've seen certainly tonight, are certainly the scariest because you can't visually connect to it. You only, of course, can watch the Weather Channel, have a NOAA radio, so you're alert to what's coming. So once a tornado comes down, and then of course, people go out and survey it, and it becomes rated an EF 1, 2, 3. So what is that scale? With that, Alex has more.
All right, thanks so much, Alexandra. Well, you're getting a chance to look at some of the damage from a tornado that hit the town of Sand Springs, Oklahoma. This was several days ago. This was actually rated an EF 2. One man was killed while seeking shelter from the storm in his mobile home. Now, during multi-day severe weather outbreaks like the one that is underway right now, there's a high likelihood for widespread damage. After the storm moves on through, you get the National Weather Service offices that go out and assess the storm damage and determine whether or not a tornado was actually responsible for that damage. Now, if it was a tornado, the damage left behind will determine the rating on the Enhanced Fujita scale, also known as the EF scale. And there it is, going from EF0 all the way to EF5. And there are some of the estimated winds associated with those scales. But let's break things down and go through each scale here and each number here for you to get a sense of what that damage is. Now, an EF0 is considered light damage, 65 to 85 mile per hour winds. Peels surfaces off some of the roofs. You get some damage to gutters or even siding, and you get some broken tree branches, and even shallow rooted trees can become pushed over. So that's the EF0. You start moving up the scale to EF1, moderate damage, 86 to 110 mile per hour winds, roofs severely stripped, mobile homes, and we always talk about mobile homes and how dangerous they can be in tornadoes. They become overturned or badly damaged. You get loss of exterior doors, and even windows are broken. That's why we say stay away from windows. EF2, now we're starting to talk considerable damage, 111 mile per hour winds, plus roofs can be torn off, well-constructed homes and foundations of framed homes are shifted, and of course mobile homes again are destroyed and large trees are uprooted. Then we move up to EF3, severe damage, 136 to 160 mile per hour winds. Entire stories of even well-constructed homes are destroyed. Trains are overturned and trees are debarked. Wow. Then EF4, we consider that to be devastating. 166 to 200 whole frame houses are leveled. Cars can be thrown into the air and small missiles are generated, and that can be by trees or plywood. And then you get up to EF5, the strongest category, greater than 200 mile per hour winds. Strong frame houses are swept away. You get even high-rise buildings that are impacted. It's just an incredible sight. The last EF5 tornado, that was Moore, Oklahoma, back in May of 2013. Alexandra?
And of course, Joplin in 2011, and our Mike Bettis is there tonight. Well, of course, our goal tonight is simple, to keep you safe. And if you are in a mobile home, very simply, get out if you have time to do so. Most tornadoes, even an EF0, can destroy even tied down mobile homes. We're back.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy skies. Low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We have live severe weather coverage for you tonight. The potential for more scenes like this one near Kansas in Barber County today. This happened earlier. The footage caught by a storm chaser just before 7 p.m. Central.
Severe weather causing this damage in Potosi, Missouri. Look at that there. That's a little bit over an hour southwest of St. Louis. Possible tornado in that area this afternoon. That along with egg-sized hail. Well, good evening and thanks for joining us here on this night filled with some of the storms. I'm Alex Wallace.
And I'm Alexandra Steele. Well, these storms have been firing up throughout the evening and tonight, and that's why we do have extended coverage here to keep you safe and informed.
All right, let's check in on what is happening out there. Still dealing with our tornado watch that is in place there for you. Portions of Kansas down into Oklahoma. That's until midnight, and still a little sliver there of a severe thunderstorm watch as well in Texas.
And of course, farther south you go. Certainly what we've seen, some incredibly strong winds gusting in Lubbock to 76, even 82 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warnings in Blaine, Custer, Dewey County until 10:30 Central Time. And then as we head farther south, there you go. Wichita Falls, of course, Kansas really have seen kind of the brunt of the worst weather today, Alex, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Several reported tornadoes there, even some that were cited as well. But here it's the damaging winds. I mean, we're talking getting up close to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts there in the Panhandle. Well, we want to look into what is fueling all of these storms and what maybe even prohibiting a few of them. And it has to do with what we refer to as the cap. And for expert analysis, we want to head to the lab with severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes and storm specialist Carl Parker.
We've had some very strong storms today, but they've been widely scattered in nature. And Dr. Greg here to talk about the fact that we've had a very buoyant and unstable atmosphere today, but we've had some limiting factors as well.
Yeah, we've had a warm layer loft, a dry layer loft that we call a cap that tends to inhibit things, except places that get a little bit of air colliding to help push the low-level air up through the cap. And one of those is the dry line. That's been the trigger for the storms in south central Kansas that have moved east from western Oklahoma and parts of the Texas Panhandle and northwest Texas this evening. These numbers are the dew points. That's the moist air from the Gulf of Mexico down near the surface. You see much drier air, 24 degrees there, the dew point at Roswell, coming in from the southwest. Now, that dry line is one factor to help trigger the storms, but what often happens is that dry air at the surface here back behind the dry line doesn't stop there. It spreads out aloft over top of places like Kansas and Oklahoma and parts of Texas and can inhibit the storms, except where you have low-level convergence to replace that. So we'll go through a little bit of a cap explainer here. A cap is a warm layer of air a few thousand feet above the surface, often 5,000 to 10,000 feet above the surface. Below that, we often have moist air, warm moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and with the sun shining down and that air trapped under that, it just percolates around like a pot of boiling water. The steam builds up. In this case, that adds instability building up under that cap, and it can't get out. So if the cap breaks, you get these explosive thunderstorms, but in some cases it doesn't break. What does it take to make the cap break? Well, you have to have that low-level convergence that I was talking about, like a dry line or along a front, or some kind of strong upper air forcing that brings in cooling aloft and gets rid of that warm layer. And today, that was a little bit on the limited side. We did have activity right along frontal zones, but in terms of the upper level forcing, one disturbance kind of began the process, and then it ran away. The bigger upper air forcing and the bigger cold pocket loft is still back around the Utah, the Wyoming, the Colorado area. And so we did not today, Carl, have the kind of huge upper air forcing that we sometimes get. And so the activity was right along frontal zones, little corridors here and there, all the way from the Ohio Valley to Missouri, and then down into Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas this evening.
So that stronger upper feature is going to be coming through tomorrow, and there's not going to be any cap tomorrow. We'll see much stronger wind field. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty big day for severe weather.
It should be a day that's much more widespread, because that cold pocket today that's out coming into Utah and Colorado will be coming farther east tomorrow. So we'll have tomorrow another day of warm, moist air, probably with a surface low coming up to Wisconsin, dragging that warm, moist air all the way into Michigan and lower parts of Wisconsin, while that upper cold pocket and the jet stream come in closer to that warm, moist air. So we may have a low-level jet that blasts in across the Midwest. And so I'm thinking tomorrow that we'll have maybe a little bit more active severe storms coverage-wise across bigger parts of southern Wisconsin, southern Michigan, all the way to Cleveland and Cincinnati and Huntington, West Virginia, Kentucky, down into Memphis, and all the way down into northeast parts of Texas. Probably the western part of this will be earlier in the day, maybe even left over from some of tonight's activity. Torcons tomorrow, 5s for parts of Illinois, Indiana, southern parts of Michigan, and southern parts of Wisconsin. And then we head a little bit farther down to the south, a little bit values of 4 there as we head down into Arkansas and Missouri. This weather system won't be done then either. It will be pushing on Friday as a cold front, with probably giving some severe thunderstorms southeast parts of Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, all the way down into parts of the Carolinas, and maybe some down along the Gulf Coast in Texas and Louisiana as well, Carl.
A lot of areas impacted the next couple of days. Dr. Greg, thank you so much. Alex, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
All right, of course, now we want to take you out into the areas impacted by severe weather with our team of meteorologists and reporters.
And we start with Scott Newell in Oklahoma City. Scott, still under a tornado watch there in the city. Looks like the storm's well to the west, at least at this moment, though.
Yes, you know, we put on the jackets here because it's so moist, 77% humidity here, and the wind makes it a little bit chilly right now. But yeah, so far the weather has completely avoided Oklahoma City. It's gone to our northwest and southeast, but still 26 counties in Oklahoma remain under tornado watch. So there's still the possibility of severe weather coming here and in many other areas around Oklahoma. Let us go straight north now up to Wichita and go to Dave Malkoff. Dave?
Couple of Cleveland guys don't see this kind of stuff all the time, but we got some brilliant images up on Twitter. If you look at Malkoff, you can see the lightning. It was amazing lightning storm we saw right here in the heart of Wichita. You'll see that, and you'll see our time lapse that we also took of the sky, because we had this storm just push right on top of us, starting with blue skies and sun and 80 degrees. And then we had this giant anvil push right over us. You'll see that in the time lapse. That's on Twitter at Malkoff right now as well. And you can see how it just went from brilliant blue skies to a sunset pushing through the storm, and also lightning on the other end. So this was a spectacle tonight. Luckily, no one got injured in this. But this is where we stand right now. We are 77 degrees or so here in Wichita, or 71 degrees, and it's a nice night. This is what we had, a thunderstorm producing tornadoes, and now it's a nice night. Back to you guys. We'll see you after this break.
All right, thanks so much, Dave. Certainly beautiful pictures there of the lightning.
Yeah, it seems like they're really out of the woods right now. You can see where those storms were, and we will show you where the severe storms are coming up next.
It may seem strange, but people really can love their laxative, especially when it's Miralax. It hydrates, eases, and softens to unblock your system naturally, so you have peace of mind from start to finish. Love your laxative, Miralax.
Hey neighbor, fertilize your lawn to keep it healthy this season and get expert advice and great savings at your neighborhood Ace. Right now, save on select varieties of Ace Green Turf fertilizers starting at $11.99 after $2 off instant savings.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Discover Can-Am's wide range of industry-leading vehicles during the Ready to Ride sales event. For a limited time, the Outlander L starts at $59.99. Or get the versatile Commander, the powerful Outlander, and the turbocharged Maverick XDS with cash rebates up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit your local dealer during the Ready to Ride sales event. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
But now, let's put this out here. I'm getting soaked. We're getting a good heavy hit of rain.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
Thanks for watching AMHQ and helping to make us the fastest growing major network on cable. AMHQ on the Weather Channel.
You weren't expecting that, were you? No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays. One man's trash. This is perfect. Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier. Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
It took James Dyson 5,000 prototypes to invent the bagless vacuum, and another 10,000 to invent the only vacuum that doesn't lose suction, thanks to patented sonic tips. Everything else is history. Search Kinetic now.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Welcome back as we continue to follow storms here this evening. This is from earlier in Potosi, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. You can see some of the damage here that was taking place, and all thanks to storms that rolled on through the city and causing some of those damage here. Roofs having some issues as well, structural damage as well as flooding. That was a problem there for us as well in Potosi. Look at that. Looks like it should be it's a river, but that is a street. So that should not be occurring there. And we're having some issues there in and around the St. Louis area now. South of town, reports of 3 feet of standing water and even some water rescues. Alexander's going to have a little bit more on that in just a second. But yeah, we have definitely been dealing with some issues across the Midwest from some of these storms, and something we'll be watching even as we head on into tomorrow. Several cities having pretty high Torcon values in place. In fact, we'll talk about Chicago. We got a 5 here showing up, so that's a 50% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius. The greatest threat, it's a pretty long time. We're talking about from the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning through 7 o'clock in the evening. That risk will be there for you. That risk for isolated tornadoes, damaging winds, as well as large hail. Let's get an update on what we have ongoing right now. Alexandra, take it away.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. Well, of course, here's a look at where we are seeing the watches. Tornado watches until midnight Central Time. And really, Kansas has seen the brunt of certainly the tornado activity today. Wichita, you're in that, down through Oklahoma, Oklahoma City included in that. Again, tornado watch, meaning conditions are ripe for tornadoes. No tornado warnings, though, right now at this moment. You can see where we do have severe thunderstorm warnings as well, including Blaine County until 10:30 local time. And farther south than that, along the dry line in Texas, where it's emerging of the very warm, moist air coming in from the southeast, the drier air from the south and west. And along that line, really, is where we're seeing some incredibly gusty winds. Flash flood warnings, we've certainly seen that around St. Louis. Alex just showed you 3 feet of water and water rescues there, Alex. So pretty scary.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to head to Mike Bettis, who's in Joplin, Missouri.
The focus of severe weather across the plains and the Mid-South through the remainder of the night. And that means places like Joplin, Missouri, a place that was hard hit by a tornado back in 2011, became the benchmark for all tornadoes truly in this country. As a result of that tornado, they severely strengthened their building codes here in Joplin. The result, keeping their residents safe, something that the mayor is very proud of.
We've had a lot of homes retroed with storm shelters. Our public schools, all that have been built back, all have large public storm shelters in them, and a lot of the existing schools have had FEMA-provided storm shelters added to them. So we take storm threats very seriously here, and our citizens are very keenly aware of what can happen, and because of that, I think they're very prepared.
A lot was learned after that 2011 tornado, especially from first responders, and the fire chief telling us that how they respond to natural disasters isn't necessarily any different, but what they do for themselves is.
And I feel like we're more prepared for the next tornado, which I hope we don't have, but we are. We learned a lot of things during the 2011 tornado, and how we respond is really no different than what we would do then. We ourselves seek shelter because we do not do anybody any good if we can't respond and help. So basically on days like today, if the tornado warning is issued, we would take shelter. Once the storm is cleared, then we go out and assist and help those people in need.
Of course, awareness of the weather is what's so important. It's been the talk of town here. So many people after that tornado in 2011 vitally aware of how important it is to stay informed of the weather, have a weather radio, have something like an app ready to go and alert you in case there is indeed a warning issued for your area.
What makes Lay's Kitchen different from the rest? We pride ourselves on bold, authentic flavors with the finest ingredients. The satisfying crunch and rich flavors of Lay's kettle-cooked chips. One taste and you're in love.
I know, I used 3 strips of tape. Gorilla packaging tape. Of course.
Gorilla packaging tape is 2 times thicker and 50% wider to hold with just 1 strip. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful.
Unless you have a Subaru. The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Even the toughest spills are no match for the ultimate vehicle protection. Custom fit WeatherTech floor liners. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech, proudly made in America.
Not all toothbrushes are created equal. Oral-B toothbrushes are engineered with end-rounded bristles so brushing doesn't scratch gums, and angled perfectly to remove 90% of plaque for a healthier smile. Trust the brand more dentists and hygienists use. Oral-B.
What are you doing?
Athlete's foot. Athlete's foot can be embarrassing. Lotrimin Ultra relieves the itching, burning, and cracking to cure athlete's foot and embarrassment too.
Ooh.
Get Ultra. Lotrimin Ultra.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
Control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
If you've been shopping for a new car lately, you probably noticed something. Dealers love marking up their prices. Here at Beth Smith Kia, we don't play those kind of games. You'll always get a great deal without any phony markups. In fact, we'll give you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade and free tires and batteries for life. Think about it. No price markups, more for your trade, and free tires and batteries for life. Why would you shop anywhere else? Hurry to Beth Smith Kia.
Is there such a thing as a sure thing in business? Some say buy gold. Others say buy soybeans. I say buy Comcast Business Internet. Unlike internet providers that slow down when traffic picks up, you get speed you can rely on. it's a safe bet. Like a gold-plated soybean.
Reliably fast internet starts at $69.95 a month. Comcast Business, built for business.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, take a look at this. Our crew encountered this earlier this evening in Wichita, Kansas. It went from an 80-degree day with sunny blue skies to a light show, unbelievably, and then now to a pleasant evening as well. So, wow, incredible lightning show there. Some of these flashes of lightning can be hotter than the surface of the sun. So it is active and it is dangerous. So we've been talking a lot about lightning safety as well as flood warning safety as well as tornadoes safety. So a lot to get through tonight. Here's where we're looking at the flash flood warning. We've been showing you some pictures south of St. Louis. 3 feet of water, standing water, and water rescues to boot. Flash flood warning right now, meaning flooding is happening and imminent in Jefferson County, including High Ridge, Imperial, Arnold. If that's you, hey, it's late. If you're heading out, 5 o'clock in the morning, we have this flash flood warning posted. Farther east we go. Here we go through West Virginia, Elkins, West Virginia, kind of the leading edge of this, and Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, all have really seen some flooding tonight, and you can see that heavy rain kind of just training over the same areas over and over again. Farther south we go. Here's where the watches are posted. Tornado watch from Wichita, from Kansas, south to Oklahoma City. Again, tornado watches, meaning conditions are ripe for tornadoes to develop. That is till midnight Central Time. There's a look at the radar picture. Again, we've seen right along that dry line in Texas, moving farther eastward, high winds and hail. The biggest threat with that as well, Alex. So, wow, some incredible pictures coming out tonight. And let's look at now what's happening in Indianapolis.
Yeah, absolutely. This is from earlier this evening, and you can see it there. Roads and the lawns just looking nasty, muddy, looking like little ponds here for you. And yeah, the rain was actually still coming down when some of these pictures were taken. So it was quite a bit of a mess. You can see that roadway there. Looks like the underpass having some issues. So a round of storms that rolled on through central parts of Indiana, and they dumped quite a bit of rain. And we still have that flood threat that's going to be lingering out there because we were going to be dealing with rounds and rounds of rain here over the coming days, Alexandra.
Yeah, and Alex, we had rounds and rounds of rain in the last 7 days to boot. So here's a look. Kind of the stage has been set. The ground's been saturated. The last 7 days, we've had an inundation of rain. You can see St. Louis to Louisville. And you'll notice kind of if you look at this like west to east trajectory, it's called training when these storms just kind of go over the same areas. And that's why this one area you can see here kind of delineated in this orange, seeing the heaviest amounts of rain. So the ground is saturated. We've seen an awful lot of rain. Now bring on these storms, kind of dumping some heavy rain as well. All this moisture, kind of the biggest outbreak we've certainly seen thus far this year. Why? Well, now all the moisture as we're heading into spring coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. So here comes the moisture. And then, of course, this buoyant energy with this front. And again, it adds more moisture and then dropping more rain. Here we go through Friday, another round of rain coming in. So, of course, Alex, we've got really the potential for flooding.
All right, Alexandra. Well, if you need to be out on the roads and your area is affected by flooding, always remember, turn around, don't drown. Very easy to remember. Now, if there's water on the road, you just may not know how deep it is. And even if there isn't ponding, speed, that is something that you want to be aware of. So let's talk about that speed here. And, you get on a highway, 70 miles per hour, certainly not uncommon. Well, it's going to take you about 315 feet to come to a stop. on a dry road. When it's wet, it's going to get to 560 feet. So that distance really starts to increase. And when we're talking about speeds here, your vehicle can actually hydroplane at speeds around 35 miles per hour. So it doesn't take you going too fast to run into some issues with hydroplaning there. And then, of course, when you start talking about heavy downpours, torrential downpours can obstruct your view and reduce those visibilities to almost nothing. That means objects in front of you, like cars, can become visible only after passing that minimum braking distance. So the key, slow down.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Quiet! Mom has a headache!
Had a headache. But now, I don't. Excedrin is fast.
In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes. Excedrin.
Wow, that was fast.
Making a fist. Something we do to show resolve, to defend ourselves, to declare victory.
That's how you do it.
So CVS Health provides expert support and vital medicine
Make a fist for me.
at our infusion centers or in patients' homes. We help them fight the good fight. CVS Health, because health is everything.
I started my Camry. Ran a race most wouldn't dream of starting. Chose to take down a monster. And realized when it's dark enough, you can see the stars. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. Our hero is the soba noodle, which we pair with fresh spinach, mushrooms, and chicken raised without antibiotics.
Very nice.
Then top with a soy miso broth. That's the ticket. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, try our delicious Thai chicken salad, only at Panera Bread.
Okay, listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and 9 grams of protein.
Ensure, nutrition in charge.
The garden is the story of our lives, told and retold. It's as old as our time on Earth, and as new as tomorrow. You can have a yard, or slightly less. Gardening isn't about where we choose to live. It's about how we choose to live. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get special financing for 12 months on purchases of $4.99 or more on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
But now, let's put this out here.
I'm getting soaked. We're getting a good heavy hit of rain.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
Thanks for watching AMHQ and helping to make us the fastest growing major network on cable. AMHQ on the Weather Channel.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
No, it's unpredictable.
Tornado tonight. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be windy. You never know what's going on out here. So.
Oh my God!
It looks to me as if I see some rotation in that. I think we do have at least a brief tornado.
Now, we've seen it all today, right? The flooding, the tornadoes, and even more to come tomorrow. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Weather Channel. Of course, we are in day 2 of a severe weather outbreak affecting several states and millions of people.
Absolutely. We've got live crews, meteorologists, chasers spread out all across the areas impacted. We'll be checking with them throughout the evening.
All right, well, also, we want to talk about an issue happening right now, and it is certainly life-threatening in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, joining us now on the phone is Jim Casey with the Franklin County, Missouri Sheriff's Office. We certainly appreciate you for taking the time to speak with us here this evening. And we understand you've had to rescue several people tonight after flash flooding. Can you give us a little bit more information on that, and is everyone safe?
Yes, everyone's safe. We had to remove only 3 people today. Yesterday was several more. I think they were a little bit cautious and called us earlier tonight just in case it got up as high as the water did yesterday, but it wasn't near the severity as it was on yesterday afternoon.
All right, so, Jim, about a dozen people being rescued from the Sleepy Hollow Mobile Park along the Pin Oak Creek. And, you know, residents saying that this is man-made in addition to the rain and the heavy rain that fell. Tell us what she's talking about.
There has been an addition, like a low water crossing type bridge put in. It seems to be affecting the flow of that creek. It could be a contributing factor at this time causing that the water to back up in that area.
Jim, are there any plans that you know of to maybe alleviate that issue?
I'm not sure. I'm not in on that part of the planning, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with that obstruction in the creek.
All right, so how do things stand now? How bad is the flooding now?
The water has receded back into the banks. We're just we went door to door to everyone that was in that particular trailer park and advised them that just to be cautious for the next 24 to 36 hours because we're not sure how many lines of storms that are going to come through and what how much rainfall we're going to get with each one of them waves that come through the next 24 to 36 hours.
All right, Jim, and you guys there in the sheriff's office, you guys are all staffed and ready in case anything else happens, I assume.
We've got a game plan if it happens again tonight or tomorrow, what we're going to do.
You know, a Bowles fire captain I read ended up carrying this 2-week-old son through the floodwaters to safety. So really a scary scenario, ready kind of bracing for the next round that may fall.
Yeah, yes, that happened yesterday, and it could happen again. It's just we're getting hit with several waves, as you're well aware of it, and it's just until them waves slow down and we get back to normal, we could see this happen again.
All right, Jim Casey with the Franklin County, Missouri Sheriff's Office. Thank you so much, Jim, for joining us. We certainly appreciate it.
All right, well, let's talk about what we have ongoing right now with still a tornado watch. No longer there to the south in Texas, a severe thunderstorm watch. So good news there, but the tornado watch still in effect parts of Oklahoma into Kansas. Wichita still included in that, as well as Oklahoma City. That is until midnight Central Time. So within that area, conditions favorable for storms that could rotate and eventually produce tornadoes. Although it seems like as we're starting to move through this evening, that risk starting to subside just a bit. But still, we want to be vigilant here, and we will be with you all night.
All right, and it even seems like tomorrow the potential for tornadoes really does exist, even more so than what we saw today. So with that, let's go to Carl Parker and talk about the risk for tomorrow. And, you know, Carl, when you hear Jim Casey talk about the flooding and, you know, dozen people bringing them to safety, including a 2-week-old boy, you realize why we're here. And it's to save lives, to tell you what's going to happen, and certainly have you be mindful, because it's unbelievable when you hear these really personal stories.
Yeah, no doubt about that. This is the time of year when we get these types of storms, and we're going to get repeated rounds of storms in a lot of the very same areas tomorrow. The coverage is actually going to expand across much of the middle of the country, and we'll get into that in a moment. But first, we want to take a look back at what happened today. And we had these repeated rounds of storms across the Ohio Valley, running through a lot of the same areas and around a ridge of high pressure centered over the southeast. It looks a lot like the ring of fire that we so often see in the plains in the middle of the warmest time of the year, with storms around the periphery of that ridge. So look at all of the severe reports here in the last day. A total of 275 reports, 9 tornadoes, 175 hail reports, and 91 high wind reports. A lot of wind there in West Texas around Lubbock, kicking up the dust there. Winds as high as 80 miles per hour. Then we had wind and hail in western Oklahoma, and then a slew of tornado reports in southern parts of Kansas. This first one in Buttermilk, that was one that we actually saw live on the air, and then we watched another cone drop out of that same cell, and then eventually saw another storm producing a tornado west of Wichita in Goddard, a rope tornado along with a cone funnel there. A lot of reports of wind and hail around Kansas City, a lot of rain in St. Louis, heavy rain that is now winding down, and another cell produced a whole bunch of reports of hail and wind there as it dropped down through parts of Virginia and North Carolina. Now, talking about tomorrow, we're going to see severe weather in a larger area, a lot of warm and humid air coming up into the middle of the country. Stronger winds are going to move in. So where today we had warmer air aloft that really limited the coverage of the severe weather, that's not going to be an issue tomorrow. We'll see very strong winds in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Not a tremendous amount of directional shear, but because they will be so strong, we're going to get damaging wind in addition to a tornado threat. So this is the Torcon index for tomorrow. It's a 5 in Illinois and Indiana. It is also a 5 in southern Wisconsin and southern Michigan. That means you there around Chicago, for example, and then a 4 in Arkansas and Missouri. Tornadoes will be a threat. Large hail will be a threat. We'll see a lot of damaging wind reports, most likely there across the middle Mississippi Valley, the mid-south, and then reaching over into the Ohio Valley. Much stronger, more organized system coming out of the Rockies and moving into the Midwest. Then on Friday, there's going to be more severe weather as that system moves over into the mid-Atlantic region. Severe storms lining up potentially along 95 from D.C. down through Virginia, North and South Carolina. It's primarily going to be a hail and wind threat, but occasionally we do get tornadoes in the setup, especially there in the eastern part of North Carolina, sometimes also in southeastern Virginia. So a lot to watch here in the next couple of days. Much more severe weather is on the way. Alex, back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Carl.
All right, well, we got some new pictures into us from Texas. Check it out. Mammatus clouds here over the western part of the state. He's taken over the Slayton area here. This coming in after actually the storms were rolled and blasted on through there. So yeah, pretty sight, no doubt about it. You see them; they sort of look like little pouches and sacks here, dangling down from the sky there. So they can look ominous and look scary, but generally they come after the storm and they are harmless, but a sight to see here in the Panhandle.
Beautiful from underneath the cloud. All right. Well, we are staying with you, of course, throughout the duration of this multi-day severe weather event.
And we've got extended coverage both on air as well as online. You can always get the very latest information as well on your mobile device as well. So again, a lot to track here for us as we continue through the overnight and as we move into tomorrow. The threat for the severe weather, it will continue. So be vigilant. Know what is happening out there and certainly keep keep abreast of the weather situation. We'll be here with you throughout it all to give you the very latest and walk you through the storms and keep you safe.
Yeah, tomorrow some big cities impacted, including Detroit, Chicago, and Indianapolis.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Discover Can-Am's wide range of industry-leading vehicles during the Ready to Ride sales event. For a limited time, the Outlander L starts at $59.99. Or get the versatile Commander, the powerful Outlander, and the turbocharged Maverick XDS with cash rebates up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit your local dealer during the Ready to Ride sales event. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Your eyes really are unique.
In fact, they depend on a unique set of nutrients. That's why there's Ocuvite, to help protect your eye health.
As you age, your eyes can lose vital nutrients. Ocuvite helps replenish key eye nutrients. Ocuvite is a vitamin made just for your eyes from the eye care experts at Bausch & Lomb. Ocuvite has a unique formula that's just not found in any leading multivitamin.
Your eyes are unique.
So help protect your eye health with Ocuvite.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
Edward Jones.
With nearly 7 million investors,
Oh, hey, Neil. How are you?
you'd expect us to have a highly skilled call center.
Kevin, Neil Hawley's on line 1.
Okay, great. And we do. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
There are perfect complements. The sun to our moon. The stars to our stripes. Some things just go together. That's why at Petco, we choose like-minded partners like Instinct Raw Boost, the first pet food to combine high-protein, grain-free kibble and protein-packed, freeze-dried raw bites for health and vitality you can see. Because when we feed them better, our companions thrive. Petco. What we feed them matters.
Johnny, even after careers like ours, we're still going strong.
What's your secret, Richard?
Blue Emu Super Strength Cream.
I've used Blue Emu for over 10 years. I love it. Blue Emu, made with real emu oil. It gets down deep to soothe my muscles and joints.
And it's odor-free, non-greasy, and sure gives me fast-acting comfort.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Nice catch. Blue Emu. It works fast.
And you won't stink.
I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Introducing new Country Time Lemonade Starter with real lemon juice. A fresh new way to make Country Time.
People that would do anything for golf deserve a store that would do anything for golfers. Visit Golfsmith, for the largest selection and guaranteed lowest prices. Golfsmith, anything for golf.
Well, welcome back. Severe weather that moved through Potosi, Missouri earlier today, causing damage to the town. In fact, a possible tornado blew through the area.
You know, that system also brought egg-sized hail. Elizabeth Matthews from our affiliate KSDK is there right now with the very latest. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi guys, it has been quite an active afternoon and into the evening. We're in downtown Potosi. Like you said, we wanted to show you some of the hardest hit areas in town, and this is one of the worst examples that we could find. There's obviously a lot of roof damage here in town. This is a vacant building but was being rehabbed, we've been told by the owners, but scenes like this are scattered around Potosi tonight. Lots of businesses on the main street have damaged roofs, which then of course leads to a lot of flooding inside the businesses. So up and down the main street there are scenes like that up and down. We talked to one accountant who has a business, excuse me, on Main Street. He had some roof damage. He was inside with a client. They were towards the front of the building where a window was. They started to hear the storm, so they rushed to the back, and he said that they did feel a pressure. So they felt the pressure of what might be a tornado. We don't know for sure, maybe just some straight line winds. But so they got to the back. They have about 3 inches of water in their store right now. A dance studio that sits right next door to that accounting business also had a flooded wood floor across the street. Thrift store, story after story like this. But just on the outside of Potosi, there's the Washington County Fairgrounds. That was actually our first stop when we got into town, and there we found concession stands ripped to shreds. A lot of the roofs had blown off and blown across the street. A stage, the stage of the fairgrounds had a kind of a metal roof ripped off and thrown across into the woods across the highway out there. So the fairgrounds has a lot of work to do before their upcoming fair, which starts in August, I'm told. So that will have a lot of cleanup. And even one of the guys that I talked to out there said we're going to have a lot of fundraisers to help us clean up this mess. Now, good news here in Potosi, the power at least did come back on in downtown where we are. I did check with the local electric company, and they do have still power outages in the county, but where we are looking around about 25 minutes ago, the power did come back on. Talked with law enforcement earlier today just to kind of get a feel for how bad the situation was here. They said that they didn't have any major injuries, a few minor injuries, scrapes, bumps, bruises, and a few water rescues that the fire department had to go out on, but no major rescues, mainly some just minor rescues, kind of a turnaround, don't drown kind of situation. Also, we learned tonight that the school district will not be having school tomorrow because of the widespread storm damage here in Potosi, and even one of the schools, an intermediate school, had some roof damage. Water was leaking into the gymnasium, several classrooms out there, so kind of a mess out here in Potosi in Missouri tonight, but no injuries, thankfully. Back to you, Alex.
All right, thank you so much, Elizabeth. That is certainly the good news, no injuries there, but take a listen to this and a look as well. Yeah, we're talking large hailstones pelting Brianne Mullally's backyard. This footage shot in Indianapolis earlier today. We're talking up to golf ball size hail hitting the region. Wow. And we continue to deal with the threat for severe storms here as we work our way through this late evening. Still a tornado watch. That is in effect here for us. Parts of Kansas into Oklahoma, Wichita included, down towards Oklahoma City. That's out until the midnight hour here a local time. So within that area, conditions favorable for some of these storms that could produce some tornadoes. Now, the good news, at least right now, we've seen a lot of the storms and the actual warnings go away. We do have some storms out there. There's Oklahoma City. You work your way northward up 35. You'll run into a bit of rain. And then there's a line of storms here that's tracking its way on off from pretty much from northeast to southwest. Then here, as we work our way closer towards the Red River, we were following a line of storms here, and it had some pretty strong wind gusts associated with it, at least a history of that back around the Lubbock area, Guthrie, but that has now since weakened quite a bit. And then we move our way northward here up into around the St. Louis area. Still some showers around, but it's south and west of town in Jefferson County, which is still underneath a flash flood warning until 3 o'clock local time. Had some issues there with feet of water, standing water, and even some water rescues. Now, tomorrow, the threat will continue. We'll see some of these same areas, northeast Texas, spreading all the way into the Ohio Valley. Tornadoes, hail, as well as damaging wind. Alexandra?
All right, Alex, thanks. So throughout the night, Alex and I will be here giving you information on what you need to do if your home falls under a tornado warning, which we saw tonight, and the steps you need to take to make sure you know what to do.
After years of being treated like she was invisible, it occurred to Mindy she might actually be invisible. But Mindy was actually not invisible.
Ooh, what are you doing?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
She had just always been treated that
You
way.
don't look at me like that. There are worse things than an attractive woman touching your body. Okay.
Join the nation that sees you as a priority.
Nationwide is on your side.
That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water, game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Before ISS, before Hubble, we built the most extraordinary machine. Stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
What do you think?
When I first sit in the seat, it makes me think of a BMW.
I feel like I'm in a Lexus.
You would think that this was a brand new Audi.
It's like a luxury car.
Feels kind of like an Infinity.
Very similar to Range Rover.
This is pretty high tech.
Yeah, it is. It reminds me of the Mercedes.
This is Chevy? Wow.
I have a new appreciation for Chevy. They thought about me.
I could totally rock this.
This thing feels pretty boss.
It looks kind of dope.
That's pretty cool.
This is the jam.
Pretty bomb, dude.
Maybe I will go Chevy.
I'm definitely in.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
How do you know who enters your house can be trusted? You could create a list of every known criminal in the world, and they're not on that list, they're in. Would you do that? This blacklist approach is flawed in exactly how your antivirus software works. PCmatic protects your computers like you protect your home. We developed a whitelist that only allows trusted software on your computer. We proved it by scoring the highest virus detections in the well-respected Virus Bulletin RAP test. Do you know where your antivirus software is made? Many of these security companies are located in the same places where the viruses are originating. Only PCmatic is made right here in the USA. PCmatic performs the routine maintenance required to keep your computer running at peak performance, even after years of use. Best of all, PCmatic is affordable at only $50 for 5 computers for 1 year. The absolute best security software is made in America. Go to PCmatic.com, that's PCmatic.com.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Well, welcome back. Here we are checking in on some video into us from Parsons, Kansas, showing you today's severe weather as it blew through. And you can see here, look at that. You got this big storm rumbling and rolling towards us. And You see the lightning strikes as well. Pretty picture indeed of that. A supercell thunderstorm there. Well, we continue to follow some active storms out there right now. Let's get the very latest on what is happening with Alexandra.
Yeah, you know, it was active today, but the tornado threat certainly seems to be a lot more active as we head into tomorrow with certainly more numerous tornadoes. So here's the setup. What we've seen, this Morse flow, which we have now, of course, and coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. And then the storm system, it's this upper level low, which actually right now, kind of the catalyst for the whole thing is still in the Rockies. So it's got a lot of ways to go. We're going to watch it push eastward. And as we head into tomorrow, areas from the upper Midwest all the way to the south will be impacted. And then it pushes farther eastward on Friday, gets to the eastern seaboard. So damaging winds, hail tomorrow as well. Even the potential threat for tornadoes. Certainly it looks as though it will be more likely tomorrow than we had today, including Chicago. St. Louis once again tomorrow under the gun. Incredible flooding south of St. Louis. 3 feet of standing water. Water rescues were necessary there today. Little Rock as well down to Shreveport. And then, of course, as we head into Friday, the whole thing pushes eastward. Torcon, the Tornado Conditions Index. How likely are you to have a tornado? Illinois and Indiana tomorrow. 50% chance within a 50-mile radius. Wisconsin, southern Michigan as well. Again, a 50% chance. Farther south, Arkansas and Missouri. Within 50 miles, there's a 40% chance and likelihood of a tornado again tomorrow. Now, as we head toward tomorrow, areas impacted: Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis. Chicago, look at this, the timeline. In the morning during rush hour, toward your rush hour home. St. Louis as well, and in toward Indianapolis until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. 50% chance of likelihood for a tornado. So Oklahoma City, certainly flooding, severe weather there as well. And so let's go to Alex, who has a snapshot of what it looks like now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get you right out there to some of these areas right on the ground now and into the field with Scott Newell, who is live there in Oklahoma City. Been standing by all night. And Scott, seems like the storms are sort of bypassed you, which, you know, I don't think anyone's complaining about.
You're right. You know, we're watching the radar. Here we are right here. We're watching the storms just go right around us, either to the northwest or the southeast. But still, it is very humid right now. I want you to look back here. The conditions, you're wondering why maybe I have a jacket on, because it's a little bit warm. But the problem is that we've got a good stiff breeze. Those flags back there we've been watching have been coming out, the wind coming out of the south at about 20 miles an hour steadily all day and all night. And the temperatures drop down to about 70. But the humidity is 80%. And I want to show you can't see it really well here, but if you look at the sidewalk, this is moist. You can see the condensation on these bricks right here. That is how moist the air is. And when you have that much moisture in the air, that means the possibility, especially with this cooler, drier air mass moving in, that clash of the masses, you're going to get some rain, you're going to get some severe storms. So we've still got 26 counties under tornado watch until midnight tonight here in Oklahoma. And we've been watching a big area of rain that's moving up. It's been moving up through Lubbock and heading toward us in the northeasterly direction. And it is looking like it's going to come here about, I don't know, maybe midnight or so. So it looks like we will have some rain here. Still the possibility of severe storms here. You always have that possibility with the conditions as they are right now. So that's the way it is here in Oklahoma City. We've had people come out of a concert here, the Alt-J group, and people are all wondering as they walk by us, they say, where are the tornadoes? Where's the rain? It's missed us so far. Back to you.
Lucky for them.
Exactly, and let's hope it stays that way, that's for sure. Thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate it.
Of course, our goal tonight, keep you safe, of course, during all this severe weather that we've seen around the country.
Now, if you're in a mobile home, simply put, get out if you have time to do so. Most tornadoes can destroy even tied down mobile homes. You want to get to the very nearest sturdy and permanent building.
All right, so right now, here's a look. You can see here's the radar picture as we put this into motion. You're going to watch this radar, and of course, things not as severe as they once were, but also from severe weather in terms of tornado outbreaks to flood alerts. We have that all. So south of Oklahoma City, we just took you live there. Things were pretty quiet. Flash flood watch. You can see where those flood alerts are. St. Louis and south of. That's where we had those, of course, water rescues.
And we continue to do with those watches all along the Ohio Valley. You have to remember, this is an area that has seen quite a bit of rain over the last several days, so already waterlogged, and we're going to be bringing in more rain, and that's why those flood watches are in place. Be safe.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hi everyone, we have live severe weather coverage for you tonight. The potential for more scenes like this one from Kansas and Barber County earlier today. Footage caught by a storm chaser just before 7 p.m. Central Time.
And severe weather causing this damage in Potosi, Missouri, just a little over an hour southwest of St. Louis. Possible tornado in that area this afternoon. That, along with egg-sized hail. Well, good evening and thanks for joining us here on this night filled with storms. I'm Alex Wallace.
And I'm Alexandra Steele. Well, these storms have been firing up throughout the evening and even into tonight. That's why we've added this extended coverage for you tonight.
All right, let's talk about the watch that is still in place out there. Tornado watch until the midnight hour here, a local time. Wichita still included all the way down 35 towards Oklahoma City. So within that area, conditions still, at least according to the Storm Prediction Center, still favorable for storms that could produce tornadoes. We've seen a lot of the stormy weather sort of wane a bit out there, but we still have a little bit of action ongoing there north and west of Oklahoma City. We got that line of storms right now.
Yeah, 275 storm reports, 9 tornadoes, over 100 hail reports, and certainly through Texas, the biggest threat certainly has been incredibly strong winds. 82 mile per hour wind gusts, 76 mile per hour wind gusts in Lubbock, Texas. Also grapefruit size hail near St. Louis, of course, south of St. Louis. Some incredible flooding there today.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we have it. There's that line of storms that was actually marching its way from Lubbock to the Guthrie area around Texas, caused some of those wind gusts, as Alexandra was mentioning, starting to wane a bit, but no doubt we've got some downpours right now, Lawton down towards Wichita Falls.
All right, now we want to get you out into the areas impacted by severe weather.
Yeah, so let's go into it. The field now with Mike Bettis in Joplin, Missouri.
The focus of severe weather across the plains and the Mid-South through the remainder of the night. And that means places like Joplin, Missouri, a place that was hard hit by a tornado back in 2011, became the benchmark for all tornadoes truly in this country. As a result of that tornado, they severely strengthened their building codes here in Joplin. The result, keeping their residents safe, something that the mayor is very proud of.
We've had a lot of homes retroed with storm shelters. Our public schools, all that have been built back, all have large public storm shelters in them. And a lot of the existing schools have had FEMA provided storm shelters added to them. So we take storm threats very seriously here, and our citizens are very keenly aware of what can happen. And because of that, I think they're very prepared.
A lot was learned after that 2011 tornado, especially from first responders, and the fire chief telling us that how they respond to natural disasters isn't necessarily any different, but what they do for themselves is.
And I feel like we're more prepared for the next tornado, which I hope we don't have, but we are. We learned a lot of things during the 2011 tornado, and how we respond is really no different than what we would do then. We ourselves seek shelter because we do not do anybody any good if we can't respond and help. So basically on days like today, if the tornado warning is issued, we would take shelter. Once the storm is cleared, then we go out and assist and help those people in need.
Of course, awareness of the weather is what's so important. It's been the talk of town here. So many people after that tornado in 2011 vitally aware of how important it is to stay informed of the weather, have a weather radio, have something like an app ready to go and alert you in case there is indeed a warning issued for your area. Threat for severe weather will continue, we believe, into Thursday across the Mid-South, and then spreading more eastbound in toward the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes through the afternoon and potentially even into Friday. And that's the very latest here from Joplin, Missouri. I'm Mike Bettis. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Mike.
All right, so from Joplin, Missouri to Oklahoma City, of course, where certainly we've had a team of meteorologists throughout the country. But Oklahoma City and Scott Newell, he is joining us now live. All right, Scott, we know it's a little breezy and cool out there. You have a jacket on. You talked about how kind of cool and windy it is. Talk about the conditions now.
Well, it's really humid. You really feel the moisture in the air. 80% humidity and this breeze, this steady 20-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the south. And you would think that would be nice and warm, but combine that with the humidity and your bare skin, and, you know, it really can feel a little bit chilly. So you still have conditions here ripe for some storms to come through here. You got that cold, drier air mass moving through here, and you got the clash of those two air masses, and that is what creates some of the storms. We are looking at a blob of rain that is heading our way, and it's coming up to northeast from Lubbock, so we are right in the path of that. We're expecting that to be here maybe in the next hour and a half. But the real thing to watch for right now is that until midnight Central Time, you've got 26 counties under tornado watch, including Oklahoma City. So still the conditions are right for storms to form and for there still to be severe weather tonight, because when you've got this much moisture in the air and you've got the colder, drier air moving through, that's what happens, as you well know. Just hard to predict exactly when and where it's going to happen. Back to you guys.
All right, Scott Newell live for us tonight in Oklahoma City. Thank you so much, Scott. You certainly could hear the wind from his microphone so clearly how strong it is.
Yeah, absolutely indeed. Well, you know, we're staying with you throughout the duration of course, this multi-day severe weather event. Started actually on Tuesday. We saw some of those storms, and we're going to continue to follow this as we work our way through today, tonight, the rest of tonight, and then working our way on into even tomorrow. So let's talk about what is going on here and the setup for us. And this goes through our Friday. You got that moisture pulling its way northward out of the Gulf of Mexico. That's the necessary fuel for some of these storms to get going. We'll see that dry line, which was active today. That'll still be in place, and we could see more storms fire up right along that. And anywhere in that sort of what we call warm sector, and that is the area here pretty much to the south and east of our area of low pressure, this general area, we could see storms firing up. Plus now we're going to be talking about the jet stream. Those fast winds in the upper levels be playing a bit of a part and playing a role, and that's going to allow and give these storms a little extra oomph to maintain themselves as well as potentially rotate. And it's those rotating storms can be very dangerous with large hail, damaging winds, and they can produce tornadoes. So for the rest of tonight, we'll see these areas here in the red. That potential for severe storms does exist out there. It's not out of the question to continue to deal with that. Oklahoma City up towards Kansas City, the St. Louis area as well. Once we move into tomorrow, things shift a little bit further on off towards the east. So a spot like Oklahoma City, you see things much quieter. Most of Kansas as well. But now we look towards Arkansas. Little Rock will be a spot. Over towards Memphis, Cincinnati as well. Thursday night continuing now into the lower Mississippi Valley. And even now starting to see that threat for some stronger and severe storms getting into the interior parts of the Northeast. So be on the lookout for that around Pittsburgh, working your way back down even into West Virginia. And it keeps going. Friday, the risk continues here for you now. Even parts of the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic through the Carolinas, and another area here right along the Gulf Coast. Alexandra?
All right, thanks a lot, Alex. Of course, we are staying with you throughout the duration of the night and, of course, this multi-day severe weather event. We have extended coverage both on air and online. You can always get the latest information from your mobile device as well. So, of course, we are here for you to watch this, whether it's tornado activity with the tornado warnings of today, or so, of course, those incredible flooding we've seen, especially south of St. Louis, 3 feet of standing water, water rescues there to boot. So really a scary night and some incredible lightning we've seen around Kansas. So all the details and where the severe weather will be coming up next.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this?
Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check. Who's that?
So weird, right? My agent Tom said
Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
But I'm a woman. Maybe it's a misprint. Does it look like a misprint?
Okay, Silence. Ask an Allstate agent about the Safe Driving Bonus Check. Are you in good hands?
What are you doing?
Athlete's foot. Athlete's foot can be embarrassing. Lotrimin Ultra relieves the itching, burning, and cracking to cure athlete's foot and embarrassment too.
Ooh.
Get Ultra. Lotrimin Ultra.
Remember the hassle of vacuuming. Before, the Dyson V6 Motorhead Cleaner gave you powerful suction. and standout performance without the hassle of a cord.
But now, let's put this out here. I'm getting soaked. We're getting a good heavy hit of rain.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
Thanks for watching AMHQ and helping to make us the fastest growing major network on cable. AMHQ on the Weather Channel.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays.
One man's trash
Get to work.
is another man's totally awesome beer can space heater.
Hi. Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Who says desirable can't also be responsible? With 46 standard safety features, the Lexus RX is proof that fun can be good for you. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Working on my feet all day gave me pain here.
In my knees.
But now, I step on this machine and get my number, which matches my Dr. Scholl's custom-fit orthotic inserts. Now I get immediate relief from my foot pain.
My knee pain.
Find a machine at drschols.com.
I'm the protector of my patio. Killing weeds where they grow. A barrier forms so weeds can't appear. Serious weed prevention up to a year.
Roundup Max Control 365.
So I'm fighting weeds on opening day and preventing weeds while I get away. Weeds stay dead as we carve this beast, and they still aren't back when I cook this feast.
Roundup Max Control 365.
One more time, let me make it clear. With no more weeds, it's your year.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. This was the day near St. Louis in Potosi, Missouri today. Of course, look at the flooding we've seen, and it's certainly a scary scenario there. And reported tornado buildings, just one of 9 potential tornadoes today. Tornadoes, hail as big as grapefruit size reported, and even farther south in Texas, 70, 80 mile per hour wind gusts there, of course. And you can see the flooding. Also, of course, 3 feet of water on the road south of St. Louis, and even a dozen water rescues there, and even reportedly 1 death of a woman out there trying to clean the storm drains, and she fell into the water. So certainly a scary day, and this is really, we're just beginning. Again, it looks as though tomorrow could be even more severe in terms of tornadoes. So here's a look. The good news is the tornado watch that we had around Kansas, including Wichita, has now expired, and they've taken it off, but still we have one south of that from Enid down toward Oklahoma City. Tornado watch until midnight Central Time. What that means is that conditions are ripe for a tornado to develop. Different than a tornado warning, meaning a tornado has been spotted either by someone or on Doppler radar. So here's a look at what we've got right now. Here's that line of severe weather. Breaking up, certainly not as intense as what we saw earlier today. It is all moving eastward, though. Here in Oklahoma, it looks as though winds and hail seem to be the biggest threat all the way from Oklahoma southward. So the forecast for tomorrow, the potential for damaging wind, hail, also tornadoes in Chicago and St. Louis. So with more on what we can expect tomorrow and even into Friday, let's go over to Alex to delineate that.
Yeah, let's do it, because as we work into tomorrow, we've got Torcon values creeping up. We're up around a 5 here for you in Indianapolis, so central Indiana having to deal with this. A 50% chance of a tornado here within a 50-mile radius. Now, the greatest threat, it's not just going to be a couple of hours. We're talking about from the morning, 9 o'clock, all the way through the evening, 10 o'clock at night. That's going to be the greatest threat time. Isolated tornadoes, damaging winds going to be a threat out there for us, as well as large hail. So we've got it all to deal with here in Indianapolis. We'll be following this all very, very closely. Alexandra?
All right, Alex. Well, as we track the possibility of tornadoes for the next couple of days, we want to make sure you are as prepared as possible. What does that mean? That includes knowing the safest place in your homes to find refuge under a tornado warning. And with all the very latest on that, where to go, what to do, here's meteorologist Mark Elliott.
When you're under a tornado warning or you hear a tornado siren, and especially if you can see that tornado, now is not the time to grab that smartphone and start filming. Instead, it's time to get inside and seek shelter. You run inside to seek shelter from the storm and come up to your bedroom, which normally is pretty safe, until, of course, a tree crashes through your roof. Coming down to a lower level, great idea. Trying to see where the storm is outside those windows, bad idea. It was a good idea to leave the windows, but this exterior wall doesn't help you as much as you might think. No, tree limbs or 2x4s, they're like toothpicks when winds get as fierce as in these storms. Yes, your garage is on ground level and has 4 sides. No, it isn't going to protect you the way you want it to. So this is where you do want to be. Not only a low level, but the lowest level you've got. And you want to put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. And then you stay here until it's safe. Because this room could be the one thing that saves your life.
Great, Mark. So impactful, right? That's what you got to do. And that is our job. Keep you safe tonight and for the next few days during this severe weather event.
And that includes knowing what to do if and when these storms approach your home.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a vitamin verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended letter vitamin brand.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
Once there was a girl with important people to impress and no time to spare. Luckily, she protected her dress from odors with new Downy Fresh Protect. It's like deodorant for your clothes. Just toss it in with detergent, and like deodorant, it neutralizes odors on the spot, protecting fabrics all day long. So even on the busiest of days, her dress always smells like success. New Downy Fresh Protect. Wash in the wow.
Discover Card.
Hey there, I just got my bill, and I see that it includes my FICO credit score.
Yep, you have our Discover It card, so you get your FICO credit score and your monthly statements, and online for free.
It's pretty cool, you guys.
Well, we just want to help you stay on top of your credit and avoid surprises.
Good, I hate surprises.
Are you okay?
Nope.
We treat you like you'd treat you. We've already given more than 175 million free FICO credit scores to our card members. Apply today at discover.com.
The first hybrid in America, a Honda. The first to meet the Clean Air Act standards, a Honda. And now we're the first to do something else, the Honda Dream Garage Sales Event. Right now you can get an amazing deal on a Honda Accord, named a 2015 IIHS Top Safety Pick.
The Honda Dream Garage Sales Event. Get a dream deal on an Accord with standard rearview camera. Now at your Honda dealer.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving. We know you can't control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Is there such a thing as a sure thing in business? Some say buy gold. Others say buy soybeans. I say buy Comcast Business Internet. Unlike internet providers that slow down when traffic picks up, you get speed you can rely on. It's a safe bet. Like a gold-plated soybean.
Reliably fast internet starts at $69.95 a month. Comcast Business, built for business.
Wanda, thank you for my flavor. And Mama Bag, thanks to you, I'm one fine-looking bag.
Get Checkers and Rally's fan favorite, the Philly cheesesteak with hot melted Swiss, or try the new meatball sub, 2 for $5. Checkers and Rally's.
It's in the bag.
Being free from the flakes and itch of dandruff feels great. Maximum Strength Selsun Blue targets the source of dandruff, wiping out flakes and itch before they start, leaving hair clean and healthy. Selsun Blue. Freedom from dandruff.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, cloudy intervals, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, take a look at this. This are bursts of lightning our crew in Wichita encountered earlier today. It was sunny and 80. The storms rolled in and then they cleared out. So just some incredible cloud to cloud lightning, cloud to ground lightning. And, you know, we talk a lot about lightning safety, or we talk about dangerous lightning. Flashes of lightning can be hotter than the surface of the sun. So lightning, of course, flooding, as well as tornadoes. Certainly all threats we saw today and will continue to see in this multi-day severe weather event. And tomorrow, some big places impacted, big cities, including Detroit and Chicago. Here's a look at this flash flood warning where we've seen it. Of course, Jefferson County now until 3 o'clock in the morning Central Time, including High Ridge, Imperial, Arnold. Flash flood warning, you know, what we've seen just now, south of St. Louis and east of St. Louis. South of St. Louis, water rescues, 3 feet of standing water. Certainly we've seen that in the last couple of hours tonight. And here's a look at the bigger picture as we head farther eastward toward Elkins, West Virginia. And you can see this line of the very heavy rain south of Elkins and some strong wind there, and even the potential for some hail. So what we've seen kind of from Kentucky and Tennessee east toward Hagerstown, Maryland, and also into West Virginia. These storms just training over one another, where flooding becomes the biggest of concerns, certainly one of the concerns tonight as well. And here's a look at why. You know, over the last couple of days, we've seen an inundation of rain here. We've seen anywhere between 2 and 5, even up to 8 inches of rain locally. Ground is saturated, and now, of course, we've got more rain coming in. So we've seen flooding. Now the ground is saturated. Here's a look at the past 7 days, and it's called training because it's like train tracks. These storms kind of moving over the same areas over and over again, and thus getting dumped on, where the biggest kind of agreement, as we see from where this rain is, and the biggest totals of 5 to 8 inches kind of along a west to east horizontal. So here's why. All this moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, of course. Now as we head into April, you know, May is the biggest tornadic month, but April comes in second. Actually, 3 of the greatest U.S. certainly killer tornadoes and certainly tornado outbreaks have been in April. Why? Because all this moisture coming up now, of course, the heating of the sun, and also a robust jet stream, and all of that coming together for severe weather today, tomorrow, and even into Friday. So more rain coming in through Friday over the same quadrant. So this area of concern, we've seen pictures are really unbelievable. Now, of course, more rain coming in as we head toward the next couple of days. So again, flooding a big concern, Alex, as well. lightning and the flooding they've seen.
Absolutely, indeed. And the key is if you need to be out on the roads and your area is affected by flooding, always remember this phrase: turn around, don't drown. Now, if there's water on the road, you may not be able to tell how deep it is. And even if there isn't ponding, speed, that is certainly something to be aware of. So let's talk about the average braking distance here for you. This is when you're traveling at about 70 miles per hour or so. Now, on dry pavement, it would take you about 315 feet to come to a stop. But you add a little bit of wet weather out there, and that increases the distance to 560 feet. So it takes a lot longer to come to that stop there when the roadways are wet. Now, going 70 miles per hour on wet roadways, not a recommended thing to be doing. I mean, look at this. Hydroplaning can occur at speeds as low as 35 miles per hour. So we're not talking about having to go all that fast to deal with hydroplaning issues there. So again, you got to really be careful out there. Then, of course, when you're talking about rain, it can come down very heavily at times, and rain, torrential downpours can reduce visibility at times to almost nothing. And when that occurs, well, objects in the road as well as cars in front of you, well, they become visible after passing that minimum braking distance. So the key is to slow down. Alexandra?
All right, so if you're slowing down, you're in a vehicle and you're in a tornado-warned area, knowing what to do behind the wheel certainly can save your life. So seek shelter in a sturdy building only if it is safe to get out of your car. And now you may want to take refuge under a bridge. Don't do it. Avoid it if possible. Of course, drive out of the tornado's path by moving at right angles if you can do so. And of course, if you're inside, in your home, interior room without any windows in the lowest level of your home. Be safe tonight. We're back after the break.
Look like this, feel like this. Look like this, feel like this. With Dreamwalk insoles, turn shoes that can be a pain into comfortable ones. Their soft cushioning support means you can look like this and feel like this. Dreamwalk.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, and wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Oh, this audit will take days. What a headache.
Actually, I don't have a headache anymore. Excedrin really does work fast.
Quiet! Mom has a headache!
Had a headache, but now I don't.
With 2 pain fighters plus a booster, Excedrin ends headaches fast. In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes.
Oh, my headache's gone. Not gonna happen.
Excedrin.
Wow, that was fast.
You could sit at your computer and read all about zero-turn mowers. Click, scroll, tweet, or you could just sit on a John track and feel its power. You'll know it'll get the job done fast. When it's time to pick a mower, you've got to get on one. Visit your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today. Sign up to take your turn on a Z435 and save $100 on your purchase. Nothing runs like a Deere.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
Introducing new Cheez-It Crunch.
So it's all about firsts. Crunched is Cheez-It's first ever puffed up crunch made with 100% real cheese. Woo! It's the first time Cheez-It is in the chip aisle, and it's the first time...
No, go ahead.
I spank myself. I spank myself.
Yeah, you do, because you've been a bad boy.
Yes. No.
We take the time for our cheese to mature in our new Cheez-It Crunched.
But now, let's put this out here. I'm getting soaked. We're getting a good heavy hit of rain.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
Thanks for watching AMHQ and helping to make us the fastest growing major network on cable. AMHQ on the Weather Channel.
You weren't expecting that, were you? No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, cloudy intervals, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays. One man's trash. This is perfect. Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier. Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
You know, it's unpredictable.
Tornado tonight. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be windy. You never know what's going on out here. So.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
It looks to me as if I see some rotation in that. I think we do have at least a brief tornado.
Well, we saw all of that today, didn't we? Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Weather Channel. We are in day 2 of a severe weather outbreak that will last several states, several million of you as we head towards several days from now through Friday.
And we've got crews out, meteorologists, reporters, storm chasers spread out across some of the areas impacted. We'll be checking with them throughout the evening.
That's right. We have just some severe weather popping up right now near Chicago. It is all moving north and east. You can see it from Elgin to Chicago, heading toward Waukegan, south and west toward Aurora and Joliet as well. Again, most of these really have hail in them. That's really the biggest concern tonight, right, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. So just heads up there. That storm's continuing to march on off towards the north and the east. Could clip you there on the south side of Chicago there for you. And also that storm there just to the west of Aurora, right there around DeKalb County there until midnight. You're dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, as Alexandra mentioned, hail going to be the biggest threat with those storms. But again, that hail could be enough to leave some issues, cars damaged there. So I want to make sure you bring them into the carport or garage.
Yeah, and you know, this may be nothing compared to maybe Chicago tomorrow night, with really the likelihood tomorrow for tornadoes there.
Absolutely. So yeah, again, we're in the midst of having to deal with this for several days, and again, increasing that risk for storms in and around Chi-Town. Well, we want to recap what we've seen so far this afternoon and throughout into the night, as well as look at what we can expect tomorrow.
Yeah, so for that, we go to our storm specialist, Carl Parker, in the lab. Hi, Carl.
First, we want to take a look back at what happened today, and we had these repeated rounds of storms across the Ohio Valley, running through a lot of the same areas and around a ridge of high pressure centered over the southeast. It looks a lot like the ring of fire that we so often see in the plains in the middle of the warmest time of the year, with storms around the periphery of that ridge. So look at all of the severe reports here in the last day. A total of 275 reports, 9 tornadoes, 175 hail reports, and 91 high wind reports. A lot of wind there in West Texas around Lubbock, kicking up the dust there. Winds as high as 80 miles per hour. Then we had wind and hail in western Oklahoma, and then a slew of tornado reports in southern parts of Kansas. This first one in Buttermilk, that was one that we actually saw live on the air, and then we watched another cone drop out of that same cell, and then eventually saw another storm producing a tornado west of Wichita in Goddard, a rope tornado along with a cone funnel there. A lot of reports of wind and hail around Kansas City, a lot of rain in St. Louis, heavy rain that is now winding down, and another cell produced a whole bunch of reports of hail and wind there as it dropped down through parts of Virginia and North Carolina. Now, talking about tomorrow, we're going to see severe weather in a larger area, a lot of warm and humid air coming up into the middle of the country. Stronger winds are going to move in. So where today we had warmer air center aloft that really limited the coverage of the severe weather. That's not going to be an issue tomorrow. We'll see very strong winds in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Not a tremendous amount of directional shear, but because they will be so strong, we're going to get damaging wind in addition to a tornado threat. So this is the Torcon index for tomorrow. It's a 5 in Illinois and Indiana. It is also a 5 in southern Wisconsin and southern Michigan. That means you there around Chicago, for example, and then a 4 in Arkansas and Missouri. Tornadoes will be a threat. Large hail will be a threat. We'll see a lot of damaging wind reports, most likely there across the middle Mississippi Valley, the mid-south, and then reaching over into the Ohio Valley. Much stronger, more organized system coming out of the Rockies and moving into the Midwest. Then on Friday, there's going to be more severe weather as that system moves over into the mid-Atlantic region. Severe storms lining up potentially along 95 from D.C. down through Virginia, North and South Carolina. It's primarily going to be a hail and wind threat, but occasionally we do get tornadoes in the setup, especially there in the eastern part of North Carolina, sometimes also in southeastern Virginia. So a lot to watch here in the next couple of days. Much more severe weather is on the way. Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Carl. Well, severe thunderstorms, possible tornadoes, causing some tense moments all over the Kansas countryside this evening.
Yeah, our Dave Malkoff has been in Wichita watching the tornado watches and warnings as they unfold.
What a night here in Wichita, Kansas. Started out almost 80 degrees and then went downhill. We had a huge anvil push across us, and then we saw the sunset on one side pushing through the storm, and on the other, one of the most brilliant cloud-to-cloud lightning storms that I have ever seen. In fact, we got a couple pictures on Twitter. If you take a couple pictures of that, these are pictures that I took with a special app called Lightning Camera that I just found online. It's on the App Store, and you just point it up at the sky, and it takes 100 pictures. Then you can select which pictures you want. You know what we got from there? We got some brilliant cloud-to-cloud bolts, and also we got the sky just lighting up in all this color, and you could see what looked like black sky was actually a lot of definition of clouds producing thunderstorms and also tornadoes. Some of them turned into funnel clouds, some of them were actually touchdowns. We had some touchdowns, but luckily we haven't heard any reports of any significant damage or injuries from this. So what a night here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel.
All right, Dave, thank you so very much. All right, take a look at this, a beautiful picture. These are from Texas today, mammatus clouds over the western part of the state. And you know what this is usually happens after the storm, and they're like little pouches coming down from the underside of the cloud. Really a gorgeous picture. So thank you so much for sending these. Very cool, Matt. We appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about the hail. How big is it? And let's compare. And you know, we did see today what? Baseball size hail, golf ball size hail, Alex, right?
We certainly had some reports of that. In fact, this was the scene earlier today in Logan, West Virginia, up to ping pong ball size hail in the state today. You can see that gathering there right around that truck. Hope that truck managed to make it through this, but I tell you, it was not a fun time having to deal with that hail. Those stones driving down. So the question is, how do you get hail that big, ping pong size, big, large, and even larger in some cases? Well, all has to do with the updraft and the speed that is moving up through the storm. That's what keeps the precipitation sort of aloft in the storm, and they can sort of collide with one another. And the stronger that updraft is, well, the longer that hail remains suspended in the storm, and the larger that hailstone can get. So let's talk about when you see pea-sized hail. It's about a 35-mile-per-hour updraft. So again, not all that strong to get pea-size, and pea-size is generally what would be less than severe limits. Severe limits get up to a quarter size, so that's about an inch there in diameter. 49-mile-per-hour updraft speed is required for a quarter size hail, and again, that is what is considered to be severe size hail. Anything above that is going to be potentially damaging. Golf ball, and we've seen some reports of that today. 64-mile-per-hour wind updraft speed is necessary for that, and you continue to climb up that speed there for you up to baseball sizing, and we're talking about extremely large hail that can cause some serious damage and, of course, even injury as well. 81-mile-per-hour updraft, teacup size, you get up to 85, and then softball size hail. I mean, we're talking about destructive hail. That's over 100-mile-per-hour updraft. Alexandra?
All right. Ooh, that is some strong updrafts. All right, well, we are staying with you throughout the duration of this multi-day severe weather event. Coverage, of course, both on air and online. You can always get the latest information on your mobile device as well. So all day, all night, we are here, especially during these severe weather events. All right, a live tower cam from Chicago, and to the right on your screen, that's the radar. Now, of course, in Cortland, DeKalb, and Malta until midnight Central Time, severe thunderstorm warning. And, you know, Alex was talking about hail, the biggest threat with this moving through Chicago tonight. More details next.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, cloudy intervals, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 85. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
Introducing new Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray. This changes everything. New Flonase outperforms a leading allergy pill, so you will inhale life. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. So roll down your windows, hug your pet, dust off some memories, make new ones. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. Ach, verdammt! I said it 3 times and it's still not true.
Performance is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200. America's import. Find it at Chrysler.com.
Let me talk to you about retirement. A 401k is the most sound way to go. Let's talk asset allocation. Sure.
You seem knowledgeable, professional.
I'm actually a DJ.
No way.
That really is you.
If they're not a CFP pro, you just don't know. CFP. Work with the highest standard.
Water. We take our showers with it. We make our coffee with it. But we rarely tap its true potential and just let it be itself. Flowing freely into clean lakes, clear streams, and along more freshwater coastline than any other state in the country. Come realize water's true potential. Dive in to the waters of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips are not your mom's chicken strips.
What about my mom?
I like these chicken strips.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Mom, you have an admirer. She is interested? Okay.
Chicken with a kick. Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic.
Well, sir, after some serious consideration, I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Well, I'm going to finish packing my things. 15 years will really sneak up on you.
Jennifer will do your exit interview, and Adam made you a cake.
Red velvet.
Oh, thank you.
I made this.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis like me, and you're talking to your rheumatologist about a biologic, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira giving me new perspective. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at Work.
Yeah, that is hail coming down here. The scene in Indianapolis earlier today, Bradley Blitch posted this footage to Twitter. Up to golf ball size hail falling in the city this morning. You can hear it and you can certainly see it there gathering on the ground. Yeah, a lot of hail issues across the eastern half of the country here with this storm system impacting us. And we can see more of that as we work our way on through the rest of tonight and into tomorrow as well. In fact, we're already seeing some storms ongoing here across northern and eastern sections of Illinois. There's Chicago, and it's to your west and also south. Some of these storms that are flared up with some severe thunderstorm warnings. Main threats with these storms going to be hail. Let's get in a little bit closer here on this particular storm in Grundy as well as Will counties until 12 o'clock local time. Severe thunderstorm warning is in place. This storm already has a history of producing some hail. Reports in the Morris area of $half size hail there. So history of hail, and you can see this thing is going to continue to march its way on off towards the north and the east. If it holds together, potentially going to clip you there in the south side of Chicago. So again, until midnight, severe thunderstorm warning there. Then we head north and westbound. There's DeKalb here, and here's another storm system, or another storm. Again, until midnight, we've got another severe thunderstorm warning. Hail again would be the main risk with this particular storm. And then north of that, there's another storm here. Again, this is for the Genoa, and then tracking off towards the north and the east. You've got another severe thunderstorm warning. Boone, DeKalb, McHenry counties until 12:15 local time. Hail the risk there. That'll continue to march towards the north and the east. So we've seen several of these storms flare up here for you across northeastern portions of Illinois. And one thing we'll be watching as we head into tomorrow, again, the risk for hail. Damaging winds and tornadoes will be a risk as well. You can see the large real estate here across the nation having to deal with this from northeastern Texas through the Midwest and working your way through the Ohio River Valley as well. All these areas from Little Rock, working your way over towards Memphis, Cincinnati, Louisville, up towards Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, all those areas I just mentioned will be in line for at least that chance for strong and severe storms. So we'll be with you all day to track this activity. Alexandra?
All right, thanks, Alex. So from the Windy City to Oklahoma City, we want to get you out into the areas impacted by severe weather. Let's go back into the field again. Our own Scott Newell has been live all night in Oklahoma City. And, you know, you had a bit of a break. I'm looking at the radar here, Scott, and just south and west of Oklahoma City, I see kind of the rain coming in.
Yeah, and we can hear the thunder around us. We can see the lightning. It's coming in through here. It just started. And if you look at that radar, you can see that there's a portion of that that's going to be pretty intense, you know, a little bit harder. But then after that, after this moves through, it doesn't look like there's much behind it at all. That's really been about all we have seen here today. It's been steady winds at 20 miles an hour. It's been temperatures that started here in the upper 70s, and they've gone down. But as the temperatures have gone down, the humidity has gone up. It's over 80% right now. And you can really feel it is muggy here, and you can really tell that we were ripe for a rain because that cold air mass moving in here is making sure that it's colliding with the humid, warmer air, and that's why we're getting the rain here. That's why the threat of storms. But the good thing for Oklahoma City is most of the bad weather passed either to our northwest or to our southeast. So pretty much all day, Oklahoma City was spared. Now we've got that tornado watch that had been in effect for 26 counties. around Oklahoma, and that expires in just about 15 minutes. So that will be gone. But still, throughout the night, again, the possibility, because this area is so saturated right now, the possibility of more severe storms and isolated thunderstorms here and there. Most of this is now moving past us and moving east. So that's the way it is here in Oklahoma City. We're starting to see a bit of lightning here. We're in a pretty safe spot right now, but we're going to try to get out of it here. Back to you, Alex. And Alex.
All right. Thanks so much, Scott.
Yeah, and just to let you know, that tornado watch that was in effect in Oklahoma City has been allowed to expire. It's canceled, so that is some great news. But storms, no doubt about it, in and around the city right now, as Scott was mentioning, hearing some of the thunder and seeing a bit of lightning.
Yeah, coming in from the southwest, moving into the northeast. So hopefully, again, tomorrow, though, another chance in Oklahoma City for more severe weather. So throughout the night, we're going to be giving you information to know so you know what to do if your home falls under a tornado warning and the steps you need to take, certainly to be safe.
I recommend Nature Made fish oil because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a product verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended fish oil brand.
What's he doing? You think I have time to run into?
Golfsmith. Anything for golf.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving. We know you can't control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under fair skies. Overnight.